Welcome back on RRTV. You're still watching Know You Before You Find Him. That's the topic we've been dealing with. And my guest is still very much around. I'm having fun with you, so let's ride on.
Thank you, Ma.
Can you tell us what are the practical steps that are immediately doable for women that are watching us out there?
First of all, healthy boundaries. Your book spoke about healthy boundaries. Setting those healthy boundaries will really, really help you. And then another practical step is self-reflection.
Please, can you just touch on the boundaries that you feel like ladies should, hence it's practical?
Yes. In relationships, you don't identify yourself with people that put you down. So in those healthy boundaries, you won't be found in spaces where you'll be talked down on. There are certain spaces you would never find me.
Yeah.
There are certain spaces you'll not put yourself in because you now open yourself to meeting people in those spaces and they identify you based on that space you're in already. So if you set a healthy boundary for yourself to say, oh, I can go here, I meet people around here, then this person knows how to meet you. One says where you find yourself is how they address you.
That's so true.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's
a good one for me. I used to hear that the way you are dressed is the way you are addressed. But I'm not hearing that where you find yourself is the way they'll address you.
Yes.
Kudos to your mom. Kudos to your mom. That's a good one. Shout out to her over there.
Thank you. And then another healthy boundary is acceptance from friends, like what you take. My friends know that there are certain things, like if I tell you the time, let's go for lunch, and the time is 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm not saying 2 p.m. leave your house. I don't believe there's nothing like African time. I see it as lack of self-discipline.
That's so true.
And everybody knows that about me. So if I say my time is 2, and all you have is 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, I'm out. I had like...
No wonder you have achieved so much for yourself. Because they say time is money.
Yeah, time is money. I had a date one time, and sadly, it was the one that did not work out. Our first date, we agreed on a time. Pastor Rahab, I was there at that time. After 1 hour, he didn't come.
Wow.
Oh, I'm on my way. Oh, I'm this. In this
Abuja.
Red flags. In this Abuja. I stopped. I went home.
I left?
Yeah. Till another day.
Cancelled the day?
Yes.
What did he do?
Apologized, begged, came to my house, talk, but I didn't go out. That's a healthy boundary. And he was never late ever again. Instead, would show up before me or come and pick me and then go. It would never happen again. If I'd accepted that, it would continue being a normal. After I'll just apologize now. She will wait. She will do this. But this is not just relationships. Also in my friendship. My friends know that if anyone is not going to wait, because we take turns to plan hangouts or trips.
Yeah.
Once they hear is if anyone that is planning, everybody knows they are sticking to time. Like nothing is happening. So that's a healthy boundary to set.
Yeah.
A very practical example.
Yeah. Your questions are finished also.
No, we have one self-reflection. I think I spoke about, and that practical thing to do is self-reflection and then journaling.
Okay, can you talk deep on that? Self-reflection and then journaling.
Yes.
Each point at a time.
On self-reflection is a practical step to do because sometimes the person you meet is not the bad person. You might be the bad person you don't know. You might have a terrible attitude. Maybe the way you spoke, your courage, your composure. Some people try to give themselves off as self-confidence.
Yes, you can do.
Yeah, thank you. So we try to give like self-confidence, but they end up being cocky. And then when they lack emotional maturity to communicate to somebody, it doesn't work. So you have to reflect in yourself and say, why didn't this work to start? Oh, he did this, he did that, but how did I react to what he did? How did I react to this? So if you don't have that self-reflection, it's going to be a problem. So that's a practical step I took from the book. And that thing that also noted is journaling. I read a few of my journals. I mean, sadly, I don't journal as much anymore, but I read a few of them I did in uni. And I was like, wow. My journal was always like me writing to God. I was always like, dear God, I know you saw what happened today, but let me tell you my side of the story. And And I realized that, I've grown, though. So that generally helps you actually express yourself better. My friend is going through something, and I told her, and she was going to react. She said, let me text this person, show them my mind. Da, 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 da. I said, okay, no problem. I know you tell him your mind, though. Why not? But before you tell me your mind, type it. Write it down. When she was done writing down, she was like, doesn't sound like something I want to say. But in that moment, if she was going to type on the message and send that message, it would be based on emotions. But if you pause and write it out separately and, express yourself better, she's like, okay, let me adjust it because I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying to express. You now come from a place of expressing yourself and you're not like fighting. So that's what journaling helps you do.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That's a very good one. I don't think many people connect with this. Most people don't like writing. I write a lot. I journal a lot. Like I put practically every thought.
Yeah.
I don't only write market list because I like to write even my list to the market. I wake up every day, my to-do list, I journal, and then my thoughts. Because being an author, I realized that when my head is choked, new inspirations don't come in.
You have to free up your mind.
I have to free up the space. So it's not only the space on our system that we free. I free my head. And the good thing that when I journal it down, it has left my thought. So I have the clarity now
to work
to take in more.
Yeah.
Yes, to take in more. So I think it's something that every one of us should imbibe. And it guides us. Imagine the life that is organized, sequenced, everything planned. When you journal, you just know that, okay, this is what I want to do. And it can be your best friend. You get to a point in life where your pen, your papers are your best friend.
Yes.
Because they are closer to you. Before you even pick a call, you can, okay, let me write this thing down. Let me, like you said, if your friend didn't write down those stuff, you might just send rubbish.
Yeah.
But after going through it, oh no, this is not even what they were sending. It might even belittle me. And the person move on. I want to ask you this special question because know you before you find him. It's all about self-identity, self-awareness.
Yes, ma'am.
You are somebody that is so much in touch with yourself. That's the reason why you could do this, you could not do that. And that's the reason why God has helped you achieve what you have achieved so far in your age. I mean, I was in a program one time and I heard your story and all that. And that is so, in fact, from that very first day, I fell in love with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So bringing you here, I want to hear, how did you get your self-awareness? How did you get your self-identity so early?
A lot of work went into it. I won't say I grew up self-aware. That's a lie. I grew up the youngest in my class. I was belittled. I was 9 in just 1. So in that instance, like, when you try to talk, you'll be like, oh, Smalley, go and sit down. And then, you try to answer. And during my master's, I was 21. A lecturer told me, and I remember very clearly, he said, your mates are an undergraduate. What are you doing here? I don't want to hear anything from you. I couldn't ask questions. I couldn't say anything. But I already found myself before then. And then sometimes I'll hold my breath, my undergrad, when I'm entering the class. I'll hold my breath to enter the class. So I wasn't always like self-aware, but during my NYSC, I was preparing and I was praying and I said to God, what's life after NYSC going to be? My mother wanted me to do my master's. I didn't want to do my master's. I mean, I did it, but I didn't want to do it as at then. So I got out a book. I still have that book. And I started writing what I wanted for my life, how I wanted people to address me, what I wanted, what I was going to accept from friends, what I was going to accept from relationships. And then I was also in a relationship, not with one that failed. I was also in a relationship. As I finished writing from that book, I called the person and said, I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely life. And he says today, that's the bravest thing anybody. And this person, I tell you, was 10 years older than me. Wow. And he was like, we're going to meet your people. I was like, nope, I don't want it. That's not the life I want for myself. And I've seen what I want for myself and I don't see you in it. So I'm so sorry about it. And I don't think you respect me. So no need to dialogue about it.
How old were you then?
I was 20 going on 21.
Okay.
20 plus.
You were done with your first degree?
My first degree, I was 7. Waiting. I was going to start my master's in a few months.
Wow.
So I wrote it down. I wrote down those things. I prayed and I followed on it. It took me, Then I started writing on social media. I was saying something about choosing me first and not choosing other people. So I kept choosing me. So I kept evolving different versions of myself. Every year, a new version. And I just wait till New Year to change you. Once something comes up and I'm like, this is it. Once something comes up, this is it. So I kept evolving and I kept praying. I honestly believe it's God's direction and God's clarity, because I have always been, I don't say that church girl. I've always been the person that goes to church. I've always been the person that trusted God, working, serving. I don't see myself in a church that I'm not serving. So I think God just helped me in the case of finding myself and being clear and having like a direct goal. So it was God, and then purpose. I think another thing that was my drivers. My dad died when I was 8, 7.5 going on 8. And my mom raised all 3 girls. My younger sister was 6 months old when my dad died. So she raised all 3 of us in private school. So imagine going to a school in Asokoro that pays 100K a term as a 1999.
Wow.
Exactly. It wasn't cheap. But she held her ground and she, sent us to the best schools. She tried to do her best to raise us. So I felt like I owed it to my mom to not be useless.
Yeah.
Like in everything, that was like my driving force. You cannot fail because this woman gave you her all, even when she had nothing.
Wow.
So she still sent you to the best. So I'd make a lot of sacrifices, like, just so that we don't feel any pressure or anything. We went to the best schools, we wore good clothes, we had good outings, like we had the best sound knowledge, we had God with us, prayers every day. She didn't make us feel any less of anything. So she tried the best that she could do. So I felt like I owed it to myself. What can I do? Me, I will not fail because my mother is not going to fail. She didn't raise a failure. So that was I think that was like my core driving force into finding myself and what I wanted to do. So I always have these check-ins I do, which I had one last weekend. I do every quarter. What did you put as your goal for the year?
Yeah.
Where are you now on that goal? Are you adjusting anything for Q4? Like I'll go stay in a hotel or an apartment just by myself, 3 days, 2 days. Wow. I'm not going out. I've cooked my food from the house, everything just inside there like that. I pray. I think when I was on this, I was reading Crazy Faith by Michael Todd. And that's when I also finished up your book too.
Wow.
I have 3 hours of reading, 3 hours of prayer, then the rest work. Like, because I still have a job, I still have to work. So I will do 3 hours of reading, 3 hours of prayer, then I work, I sleep. And then I'll go through. I divided like my Q4. Career, investments. I have a bookstagram, like where I review books. So I put that on what's my plan for this, where are plans for travel, where are plans for, like all these things were there. I identified these things before I went on my retreats. I call it like my solo retreat. Before I went on retreat, I identified them. So that retreat, I went there knowing that this is what I want to, this is the concept I'm trying to get. I don't know it yet, but God will give me the clarity. But I went to a quiet place to receive. Like, you said when your head is full, nothing can come in.
Nothing.
So you have to empty your head.
Yeah.
For you, it's writing out. For some people, it's relaxation.
Yeah.
For some people, it's like quietness.
I want to relax too.
Exactly. So I think everybody should just find what works for them that clears their head, so that you can now have the time to receive what you need to receive. So that's what works. That's what works for me, and I identified. So I think it's constantly working on myself. It wasn't a one-day job. It wasn't a one-year job. It's constant, and it's constantly happening because I don't even think I'm still perfect. I still feel like there are still gaps, there are still things, and I like to learn. I don't see anybody that is above learning from. I learn from my younger ones. I learn from people younger than me. I learn from people older than me, way older. And I said I was the youngest in my class, so I've always had people way older than me. I mean, we met my friend. We are not in the same. we're not age mates.
Yeah.
But I always try to learn and pick up 1 or 2 things.
All right. I like the fact that whether directly or by influence or indirectly, you have watched yourself grow and improve on your self-identity. Well, all right. I'm still talking with my guest, Ifeyinwa, and she's been a blessing to me right here. These things she is saying are really, really good and really, really educating. Next episode, let's go there.